Picture the wide-open grasslands of Mongolia, back around 1162. A little boy named Temujin is born into a world of endless blue skies, rolling hills, and families who lived by herding animals and moving with the seasons. His dad, Yasuge, was a respected leader, and his mom, Hoelin, was tough as the land itself. From the very start, young Temujin soaked up lessons about loyalty, sharing resources, and reading the weather like a book. Life was simple, but full of wonder, learning to ride horses almost before he could walk, spotting the best grazing spots, and understanding that a strong family stuck together no matter what. This early rhythm shaped everything. You won't believe what happened next, because when he was just 9 years old, everything flipped. His father suddenly passed, and the larger group they belonged to decided to head off on their own, leaving Temujin's family behind with almost nothing. Can you imagine being a kid, suddenly responsible for your mom and younger siblings, digging for wild roots, fishing in icy streams, and facing freezing nights? That hardship wasn't just survival school, it was leadership boot camp. Temujin learned to hunt small game, build shelters, and keep spirits high when everything looked bleak. He even had little moments of brotherly rivalry, like the time he and his siblings argued over a fish or a bird. But those tiny conflicts taught him how to settle differences fairly and turn competition into teamwork. This part shocked me the most because it shows how the toughest early chapters often write the strongest character. He didn't complain, he observed, adapted, and quietly built the inner strength that would one day connect continents. As he grew into a teenager, Temujin started reaching out to old family ties. There was this arranged promise from childhood, a wonderful girl named Borte from a neighboring group. When the time came to bring her into the family, some rival folks swept in and took her away. Instead of giving up, Temujin remembered the sworn brother bond his dad had with a powerful leader named Togrul. He rode out, shared his story with honesty, and even reconnected with his childhood friend Jamuka. Together they gathered a small circle of trusted folks, planned with clever patience, and brought Borte home safely. The joy in that reunion lit a spark in him. He saw how shared goals and honest words could pull people together like magnets. Little by little, friends and family started joining his circle because they felt the fairness and the big dream he carried. This is my favorite part so far, watching a young guy with nothing but heart turn personal challenges into the first bricks of something huge. The grasslands were full of different groups bumping into each other over grazing spots and old stories. Temujin kept proving himself in small ways, helping neighbors, sharing food in tough seasons, and showing that unity beat going it alone. There were bumpy moments, like a falling out with Jamuka, that tested everything, but he regrouped with a loyal handful at a place called Baljuna. They made a heartfelt pact there, promising to stand shoulder to shoulder through thick and thin, sharing everything equally. That promise became legendary, word spread, and more leaders brought their people over, drawn to the vision of one big connected family, instead of endless little arguments. By 1206, after years of careful steps, everyone gathered at a grand assembly by the Anon River. They lifted him up and gave him the title Genghiz Khan, meaning universal ruler. The cheers echoed across the hills, and that moment marked the official launch of a brand new way of living together. You won't believe what happened next, because this guy from humble roots didn't just celebrate. He rolled out a complete operating system for success that still feels fresh today. Let me slow down and walk you through those working principles one by one, because this is where the real magic that spread his influence shines. These weren't fancy theories. They came straight from the lessons of his own life, tested on the grasslands and then scaled across lands. First up, meritocracy, choosing folks based on what they could actually do, not who their parents were. This shocked me the most. In those days, everything was locked by family lines and old privileges. Genghiz said nope, open the doors wide. If you showed skill, heart, and loyalty, you could rise straight to the top, no matter your starting point. Take Jebe, for example. He began as a regular guy from a rival group, proved his quick thinking in an early test, and Genghiz not only forgave the past, but gave him huge responsibility because the talent was obvious. Then there's Subutai, a shepherd's son who showed brilliant planning and ended up guiding major efforts across vast distances. Genghiz even welcomed skilled craftspeople, herders, and thinkers from every background, handing them real roles. The energy was electric. Everyone worked harder, knowing the sky was the limit. This principle turned a loose collection of families into a talent magnet, and that's exactly why his network grew so smoothly. Next principle, organization that ran like a perfectly tuned orchestra. He set everything up in clean decimal teams, groups of 10, then 100, 1,000, and 10,000. Every single person knew their exact spot, who to report to, and how to move together without confusion. Old clan ties got gently mixed, so fresh friendships formed across backgrounds, making everyone feel part of one giant family. Supplies flowed without hiccups, messages zipped around, and the whole operation stayed light on its feet, even as it expanded. Imagine trying to coordinate thousands of people across endless horizons. This system made it feel almost easy. Biographies describe how decisions happened fast because the structure was so clear. It was like turning scattered notes into a beautiful symphony, and that harmony let his influence reach farther than anyone dreamed. Loyalty was a warm glue holding it all. Genghiz rewarded faithfulness like a generous big brother. If you stood strong through tough seasons, he shared land, rules, protection, and respect in return. He scattered potential trouble spots by mixing groups into new teams, letting fresh bonds grow naturally. The Baljuna Pact became the gold standard. Those who signed it received extra trust and opportunities. He listened to his inner circle like equals, asked for their ideas, and packed them fully. That kind of leadership turned regular folks into super believers, ready to go the extra mile. This made me realize that when people feel truly valued, they don't just follow, they build with you. Now for the part that always makes me chuckle because it feels so modern, communication. Genghiz created the YAM system, basically the ancient world's super-fast delivery network. Relay stations popped up every 25 miles or so, stocked with fresh horses, ready riders, and supplies. A message could travel hundreds of miles in just days instead of months. Merchants loved it, officials used it, and news from far places flowed back to the center. It doubled as a way to share new ideas and keep everyone connected. On top of that, he was a lifelong learner. Whenever his teams reached new areas, he adopted the best tricks, better record keeping from one place, smarter resource management from another, even improved ways to move goods. Adaptability was his quiet superpower. He never clung to old habits just because they were familiar. If something worked better, he grabbed it and improved the whole operation. Slightly humorous note, it's like he invented the world's first upgrade button for an entire society. Last but definitely not least, tolerance and fairness. Genghiz believed everyone should follow their own beliefs as long as they contributed to the bigger picture. He protected spiritual leaders of every kind, made sure rules applied equally, and encouraged trade and sharing. His Yasa code laid down clear guidelines, respect property, end pointless arguments, and treat everyone with the same fairness. This approach made joining the growing network feel like a smart, uplifting choice. Farmers, craftspeople, and traders thrived because the system valued their gifts. Differences became strengths, weaving a rich tapestry of cultures under one shared roof. This principle turned potential divisions into a beautiful, connected whole. With these principles locked and loaded, the expansion chapters began in earnest, spreading outward like rivers finding new paths. First, he focused close to home with the Western Sia region. Through careful talks and showing the clear benefits of cooperation, they agreed to join the network, opening fresh resources and safe routes. Everyone gained, new tools flowed back to the grasslands, and the Sia folks enjoyed stability and opportunity. It was a win-win that proved the system worked. Then, he turned toward the Jin territories. His organized teams moved with incredible efficiency, linking up area after area through smart planning and mutual benefits. Before long, those lands were part of the same big family, boosting the flow of fabrics, knowledge, and goods. People back home suddenly had access to exciting new things, and the energy on the steppes lit up like never before. The westward adventures were even more breathtaking. After some of his traders received unfair treatment in the Khwarezmian lands, Genghiz saw a chance to extend the network further. His teams advanced swiftly and thoughtfully, bringing Central Asia into the fold. Places like Transoxiana and Khorasan joined smoothly, and trade routes opened wider than ever. He trusted leaders like Jabed to push ahead, and they kept going, reaching areas near Georgia and stretching toward early Russian territories. Everywhere they went, the same principles traveled along. Merit-based roles for talented locals, the YAM, keeping everything linked, and tolerance making the transition feel natural and welcoming. This made me realize how one consistent vision can turn separate worlds into one thriving community without losing what makes each place special. By the later years, around 1227, Genghiz was still strengthening ties in the Shai area when he passed, but the foundation he built was rock solid and ready to grow even bigger. His sons and grandsons carried the momentum forward, stretching the connected lands from the Pacific shores all the way toward Europe's edges. The real lasting magic showed up in the everyday results. Safe routes let silk and spices travel freely, inventions and stories zip between cultures, and cities that once felt far apart now buzzed as busy hubs. Historians still talk about how this connectivity helped shape the modern world. Ideas moved faster, skills mixed, and fair systems left their mark for centuries. After all these chapters, and all my research, this whole journey made me realize something powerful. Real success isn't about where you start or how big your starting circle is. It's about the systems you build and the people you lift up along the way. Genghiz Khan turned simple grasslands into a bridge between continents because he focused on merit, organization, loyalty, communication, and respect for everyone. It's wild to think one person's clear vision could create that kind of lasting connection. Slightly humorous side note, who knew the ultimate team builder came from a place with more horses than houses and turned it into the original global network? Yet here we are, still learning from those principles today. Whew, friends, that was the full extended ride. Every chapter unpacked, every principle explained with the stories behind them, and every "this shocked me" moment shared straight from the history books. If your mind is spinning with takeaways like mine, drop your favorite part in the comments below. Was it the merit system that blew you away, the clever YAM network, or the way tolerance turned strangers into partners? I read every single comment. If this epic tale fired you up, smash that like button, subscribe for more deep dive history stories told like we're just chatting, and share it with a friend who loves underdog to legend journeys. Thanks for spending all this time with me. Your curiosity is what makes these stories come alive. Until next time, keep that adventurous spirit shining, because the past is packed with lessons ready to inspire your own big dreams.